what we are doing in this practice is we are in the space before this goes into our regularly scheduled programming, the samskaras that we have, right? We go into this place of awareness. This is the space. This is where the choice happens. When I slow things down, I can choose and I can respond as opposed to the reaction, which is judgment, anger. There's something going on. My body is like already ready for the attack or ready for whatever. So the practice of compassionate communication is learning to live in this place, slowing it down by focusing on what is my need, what is going on right now, by feeling the feelings and attaching them to what is grounding that. And I'm not going to get too much into that, but I just want to sort of take my word for it. How about? And then the judgment. If there is judgment, what is that telling me about what I value that I'm not experiencing right now? If there is the fear or the anger or whatever it is, that is telling me something about myself. And then if the body gets into that constricted place, right, with spanda, it's like drawing in, then that is telling me something. And these are all great ways to get into our bodies, the mental, emotional, and physical body. The overview of this practice of compassionate communication, there's a krama, there's a sequence, is that we go through stages of observations, feelings, needs, to then go to requests. And this is just kind of the big picture. It's called OFNR, OFNR, on the street, in case you're wanting to have some street cred with your compassion buddies, right? So it's learning to look at things as an observer rather than an evaluator. To be able to know the difference between you slammed the door in my face to the door happened to shut right before I was walking through it, right? That's a different thing, right? There's observations, and that's part of the practice that we do. Then it's learning to expand our feelings, not just happy, sad, good, I feel okay, I'm tired, I feel angry. It goes into, are you miffed or are you outraged? Like there's different spectrums of what we experience. Are you sad and kind of weepy, or are you just completely devastated? I mean, they're different words that express our emotional realms. Then we get into needs, which is getting into the difference between needs and wants. Wants are strategies. Like, I want chocolate. Yeah, I totally want chocolate. But what is that? What need does it meet? Stimulation, right? Beauty, whatever it is. But like being able to realize that the things that we need is what we all share as sentient beings. I need you to do the dishes is not a need, but it sounds like one, right? So it's learning like how we use our language, like I feel like you're being a jerk. That's not a feeling, but it sounds like one. So it's learning what our languaging is around things and how we actually embed a lot of our words with judgments and with assumptions. And then we get into requests. And requests are action requests, and then which is asking someone to do something on your behalf as a request, not a demand, or a connection request, being able to have conversations about very difficult things that, again, slowing it down. And these are things that we practice. Also here has some basic feelings and needs. I have my own chart that I work with, but this is kind of nice that we have feelings that are associated with needs being met or not being met. Notice it's not saying it's a good feeling, it's a bad feeling, it's a right feeling, it's a wrong feeling, right? It has to do with if our needs are being met to the degree to which we want them met. And that's a whole other, I realize, a little bit of a jargon of it, but it's very helpful to look at it that way. And then our human needs, right? We from from being able to have like food and water and shelter, which isn't on here, but those are things that are on the list that I have, to like, you know, independence, creativity, love, belonging, like things that we all can understand. So that if you're having an argument with someone, if you look at what's the need being met, I can totally understand where someone is coming from and why they might be motivated to do a particular behavior. But it does not mean that I agree with that behavior. It's a very different thing to understand versus to agree. Right? So they have this whole framework of the observations, feelings, needs, and requests. And the reason why you have to kind of go through this sequence is because when you go through and break things down and unpack them and get a lot of clarity, the requests on the very end are very different than when you first are like, I need you to do the dishes. Right? Very, very different. So we go through the process, we go through all that. I just wanted to show you that this is a whole fabulous thing that's available to you on the website.